Thank you for taking some time today to learn about finding the restatements online at the Oklahoma City University Chickasaw Nation Law Library. As a quick refresher, let's just quickly talk about what the restatements are. The restatements are a secondary source. They seek to restate the legal rules that make up the common law in a particular area or subject. Courts often refer to the restatements if there isn't a statute on point or if the statute in that state is derived directly from the restatements. The restatements are drafted by an organization called the American Law Institute. The American Law Institute is an independent organization of legal scholars from across the country who meet regularly to help to produce scholarly work and modernize and clarify the law. In the OCU Law Library, there are 3 places where you can find the restatements: WestlawNext, HeinOnline, and Lexis Advanced. And let me clarify, there are 3 places online you can find the restatements. We also have a complete collection of the restatements available in print. For this tutorial, we will focus on WestlawNext and HeinOnline. There will be other tutorials that highlight features available in Lexis Advanced. So let's first start with looking at WestlawNext and finding the restatements in WestlawNext. Remember, the restatements are a secondary source. So when you sign into WestlawNext and you're given the list of contents to browse, and you're looking for the restatements, rather than typing the restatements up here in the top bar, which you can do, but will return a lot of results that you don't need, go to secondary sources first. Then from here, you can select Restatements and Principles of Law. Once you're in the section for the Restatements and Principles of Law, you'll see the list of all of the American Law Institute content that is available through WestlawNext. Here, this is where you can choose your topic, and then either search within that topic or browse it. You can also search within this top toolbar. There's an advanced search option, so you can build a search, but you should know what subject that you need. So I always recommend going into that subject area rather than searching from this point. So we'll take a look at contracts. When you're in contracts, again, you can search from this toolbar, and this is a great place to begin your search if you're not sure what it is that you're looking for. Or you can go directly into the table of contents for either version of the restatements on contracts that you need. So let's look at Restatement Second of Contracts. When you click on that, the table of contents will appear, and you'll notice there's information about the officers, the reporters, and then there's an introduction to that version of restatements, and then each of the chapters broken up by topic. And you'll see a full list of all of the restatements available. From here, you can go to the individual chapter that you need or to the individual section that you need. So if you were interested in looking at information on capacity to contract, you could go into Chapter 2, and that's going to list those different sections for you, and then select Capacity to Contract. When you select the restatement that you need, you'll find the actual text of the restatement written in bold or typed in bold letter. This is the restatement itself. Directly below that are the comments and the reporter's notes that actually explain how the American Law Institute came up with that language and how that language actually works. Oftentimes in this comment section there will not only be explanations on what the language means, but additional references that you can use to research, and oftentimes illustrations that will show you how this particular restatement is used in practice or should be used in practice. Oftentimes the comments are far more valuable to understanding the restatement than the restatement itself. So always spend some time, if you're studying a particular restatement, to really read those comments, and you'll find a lot of valuable information. In addition to the comments, you can also go to the citing references for a particular restatement. The citing references will pull everything in the Westlaw database that actually cites this particular restatement. So for this restatement, there are 442 citing references in the Westlaw database. 45 of those are cases, trial court orders. There are 192 secondary sources. Secondary sources include law review articles, text and treatises, and practice manuals. As these things populate, you can resort your results by depth of content, so how often they cite something, or by their date. So if you're looking for really new information on how the restatements are used, you could have the sources reorganized from newest to oldest. If you want to look at court decisions that reference this particular restatement, you can go to Cases. And this one only has 45 cases on point, but what's really important about case law research is the jurisdiction. So you can also then from here limit the jurisdiction. So if you're interested in how the U.S. Supreme Court has looked at a particular restatement and maybe the Ohio and New York courts, for whatever reason that's the combination of courts that you want to look at, then you could highlight those courts, apply your filters, and your case results would be limited to those jurisdictions. So remember that these are cases that actually cite that particular section of the restatements. One other thing that you can do from in the citing references search when you're looking for information on the restatements, let's take a look again at the secondary sources. You'll notice there are 112 law reviews. Not many of us have time to read 112 articles, but there may be one very specific thing that you're interested in as it relates to capacity to contract. Or maybe you're interested to see if there's anything written about Oklahoma and this particular restatement. So what you can do is actually search within these results. So now you have 112 law review articles that cite Section 12 of the Restatements on Contracts. And then we can add in the search term Oklahoma. Apply that filter. And what's nice with the search within results is you can really construct a really well-developed search. This is a pretty broad one just to kind of get us started. But now we have law review articles that both cite that particular version of the restatements or section of the restatements and also use the word Oklahoma somewhere in the text. So now let's move on to HeinOnline. Remember, to get to HeinOnline, you need to go, we'll start from the beginning, to the Law Library's website. And go to Databases and Links, and then H for HeinOnline. If you're off campus, you will be asked to put in your network username and ID. HeinOnline is organized by library or by collection. Remember that the restatements are drafted by the American Law Institute. So to find the restatements in HeinOnline, the fastest way to get there is to go to the American Institute or the American Law Institute library. And here you'll see all of the content that is available from the American Law Institute. So we'll select Restatements and Principles of Law. And just like in WestlawNext, you'll get a listing of all of the topic areas that are available for the restatements. We'll look at contracts again. What's really nice about HeinOnline is that HeinOnline produces PDF copies of all of these documents in print. So when you're looking at the restatements in HeinOnline, it's just like looking at the print text. So we'll go to Restatement Second on Contracts. In addition to the actual restatements themselves and the updates to those restatements, HeinOnline maintains a full collection of all of the drafts and counsel drafts and revisions that the restatements go through before they reach their final product. So when you're in HeinOnline and you're looking at the restatements, you really want to look for these bolded text. These are the final versions, and this is what you want to look at. So we'll go to Restatement Volume 1, which includes Sections 1 through 177, because we were looking at Section 12. When you open that up, you can actually search within the entire volume, the section or a particular page. So you have that search within feature if you're not entirely sure where you're going. Or you can go to the chapter that you need. So we know just from our last search that Section 12 is in Chapter 2. So we'll go to the first page of Chapter 2. And this is exactly what the print edition looks like. So it's an outline of what's available, and then it launches right into the restatements. And what's nice about this is you can actually see where each individual restatement sort of fits into the entirety of the restatement of contracts and how they sort of all work together. From here, you can scroll to the page that you need, or you can search to find it. And notice that all of the comments and reporter's notes and illustrations are also available in this version of the restatements. When we get to section 12, capacity to contract, you have the bolded text that tells you this is the text of the restatement, and then the comments following. What's nice about HeinOnline is that you can print and download directly from HeinOnline this PDF copy. So if you prefer to read in PDFs, if you prefer the look of a book versus the HTML, this is a really good option for you. When you go to print, you just put in your page range that you want to print and download it. It'll create a PDF for you. And then once that PDF is created, you can save it or you can print it. That's a quick overview of finding the restatements online in the Oklahoma City University Chickasaw Nation Law Library. Thank you for your time today. If you have additional questions, please stop by the circulation desk and we'll be happy to answer them.